So I've gotten sort of a revelation on marriage and women and men. So if you think of, God the Father and the earth being like the mother, because he brought him out. Okay, so he created the earth, it came out of himself. Because the reason I say that is because he made Adam in his image and he took out Eve out of Adam. So did he take the earth out of himself and it produces for him? So that's something I'm looking at, and I'm going to look for some verses that maybe can help us understand. I think it's in Song of Solomon that says like the woman's womb is like the earth. So it makes sense because we reproduce and our bodies just know what to do with the man's seed. We don't have to like try to figure it out. It's like we were just given the same ability as the earth to know what to do with seed. So it's almost as if like man was given dominion over the earth and over everything on the earth. And women are part of men, so therefore we would have it too. But then women would know what to do with seed. So we're like producers. They're like an authority, and we're like the producers. So in marriage, women are supposed to be under the authority of man, and the man is supposed to love the woman. And you love her because she came out of you. That is, it's a spiritual thing. And God is saying you wouldn't hate your own body. So like, why would you treat your wife badly? Because she's a producer. So if you don't like what your wife is producing, let's say, then you're kind of at fault to an extent because you're the authority. So you're putting up with it even. So like sometimes you might see women who are trying to take the authority of the household. Well, they weren't designed for that, and that's why it doesn't run well. That's why there's unhappiness in the home when women try to take over, and they might think they're even better leaders or whatever. And maybe if the husband willingly wants to give them that ability or that job, well, then that might make it better. I'm not saying definitely, I'm thinking about this. But see, women produce, they produce seed. They not just children, but let's face it, women can do a lot of things at once. Just like this earth can have all kinds of different plants growing, it can feed animals, just so many different things. And women are like that. We're multitaskers. We can do many things at one time because that's what we are designed to do. But we were not designed to be the authority in the household. And so we have to learn to submit to the authority so that things will go well. So even the earth has to submit to the authority of God in order for things to go well. And so if you have like these men who are kind of henpecked, their wife is the one running the show, and they're just not saying anything. They're just, you know what, it's just easier to let her have her way. And the Bible talks about these women. It's like they're like a dripping faucet, and it's better to hang out on the roof of your house than with a contentious woman and what have you. So they think by just letting her be that way is going to make her happy. It won't make her happy. And you can only just see the harvest. Is she happy? No, she's not And she's not happy. She doesn't know why she's not happy necessarily, but maybe because she's not being tended to, because she's trying to be a tender. She's trying to tend um, when she wasn't designed to tend. She was designed to produce. So if she's starting to produce bad things, well, what would you do if you had a garden and you saw a bunch of weeds choking out the crops that you have put in? Well, you'd pull them and you wouldn't think anything of it. You'd say, I'm going to do this. This is helpful. You would prune the things because God even tells us we need to prune it so it'll actually produce more. So as a husband, you have been given the authority to look over what God has given you to be an authority over. And when you're passive and you just go, well, I'm just going to let weeds take over. I'm just going to be happy with this tiny bit of fruit I'm getting instead of pruning this thing. And because, well, I'm being kind. I'm being kind to whatever this is. No, you're not. It's a cop out. So women, sorry to say, that you are going to have to allow your husband to prune you and to pull the weeds out of you and out of your behavior and call it what it is. But men have to do it with love. See, this is the key. See, men, oh yeah, I'll go in here, I'll rip out those weeds. And you got some men are all on board with that. But that's not what he says to do. You're doing it out of love. So you might say, honey, I see that there's a lot of bitterness going on here. We got to talk about that. Maybe we need to go to deliverance. And because you seem very unhappy and angry all the time and taking out on everybody. And this isn't a good home. And, I want what's best for you. And I can see that me not saying anything and just letting this continue is actually, it's like the wonderful, beautiful garden that God made you is turning into a weed fest. And you're not having much good fruit. So you need to be pruned. So we need to maybe go to get some deliverance. And then also, I'm going to, just like you would give nutrition or good nutrients to the ground, you would do that with her. So you're like, I'm so sorry that I haven't been loving you like I should because I've been staying away from you because you're a grouch. Maybe don't say it like that. But she needs love. She needs understanding. And yes, somebody could have hurt her at some point, and that's why she acts this way. And maybe she would grow up in a household where her mom was in charge. We don't know, whatever the reason is. But here's the thing, it starts with you, men. So we can tell the women all day long, it's your fault, you're producing this and that, and you need to, bow down to the authority of the man and whatever. But if he's not helping you grow, he's not doing his job. And when you grow, the whole family does. The whole family benefits because you are the one that had the children. And if things aren't going well with you, then they're not going well with anyone. So when men think, well, I'm just going to let this woman be, act like a beast all the time, it's just better, I'm going to make excuses for her like I'm such a good guy. No, what you're doing is that you don't want to take the authority God gave you. God puts you in charge, and you are not being loving to her by letting her stay in misery, trying to do your job. And if you were to do your job, maybe she would not have to think that she needs to do your job. And maybe that's why she's trying to tend, because she's like, he's not doing it. He's not being the leader of the house. So I'm having to do it, and I'm mad about it because it's hard for me. And it wouldn't be hard for him because he was designed for this. But you can't make him change, can you? You can't make him take his role any more than he can make you do yours. So I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on the man, but in reality, you have been given the authority. So the buck stops with you, and it is your fault. Let's just call it like it is and quit, making it so weak that men don't even see and they don't want to take the blame, but it is their fault. And then okay, I'm going to go now to the women. You're going to have to allow him to prune you, and you're going to have to be tough and go, you know what? I'm going to just shut my mouth when he tells me like I'm being a grouch and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have to take it to the Lord and go, is this true? Am I a rotten person? Am I, you know, and say, did he say it in love? Then you be quiet and you listen, because you were designed to produce good, not evil. You were designed to build up your house. You were not designed to tear it down. And if you are tearing it down with your bad attitude, then it needs to be addressed. Because if you really love your family, you would not want to be the one who was designed to build, but you tear. So the devil is using the gifting you got. He always does the opposite, right? So if you were supposed to build up your family, he's going to have you tear down your family. Okay, so just like with gifts, if you were meant to be a truth teller, like God gave you the gift and you were going to be brave and bold with telling the truth, the devil is going to try to manipulate you to an extent to make you a liar. So the devil is always going to try to. So why would he do that? Because he doesn't want anyone to trust you. So now he's made you a liar who everyone knows is a liar. And now no one's going to listen to you when you try to tell the gospel. So your gift of truth from God has just been twisted. So if you were supposed to be a prophet, devil doesn't care as long as you prophesy bad. So when he's like, so now this is the person who's like, oh, this always happens. And it's something bad. And I never can do this, or this person always does that. Okay, you were given the gift of prophecy, and now you're prophesying bad. Devil's happy about that. He's just twisted your gift to use for his purposes. And so then you're like, wonder why I'm always poor, because you always talk about being poor. You always talk about not having any money. And you were actually supposed to be, by God's standards, probably wealthy so that you would give. But instead now you're in poverty because you constantly cry in poor mouth. I don't have any money for that. We don't have any money for that. We don't have any money for that. You say that 100 billion times. That's a seed. So the devil always is going to take whatever your gift was supposed to be from him. He's going to use it for his purposes. He's going to twist it. And so that is what is happening with the marriage. He's going to twist it. So he's going to make men become acting like that they are the producer of what is supposed to be in the house and whatnot. And they're going to be the mama. And then the woman is going to be the authority. So, and then they wonder why they're not happy. Because no one's actually walking in their gift. It's being used against them. So, if of course, you have to have a loving husband and you have to have a loving wife that has God at heart. That's where it's tough. So you might have, let's say, a woman who's like, yes, I want to do that. And I want to submit under the authority, and I want to produce, and I want to be able to be a good wife and be a good mother. But this man criticizes me all the time, and I can't grow because I'm unhappy. I can't do the job I was meant to do because he's constantly criticizing me and telling me that, I'm always missing the mark. And he's the authority, and he is speaking evil over me. He is sowing evil seeds in me, and then he wonders why I don't improve. He's sowing seeds of doubt in me. He's sowing seeds that are not beneficial to me. And then he's angry when I produce less than he wants. Well, he gave me a seed to produce less. All right. So, yeah, it's hard. So you have to pray to God. You have to pray to God to get a godly husband. And you may be looking at, the husband is like the same thing. I want to lead my house, but my wife won't let me. My wife questions everything that I say. She refuses to listen to anything I say. She won't do what I say. So therefore, I have no power in my home because I don't have anyone listening. And then the woman is like, he never listens, or he never does anything. He doesn't lead. Da, da, da. Well, because you won't let go of the reins, woman. So let go of the reins. Yes, he's going to screw up sometimes as he's learning because he has not been allowed to be a leader with you around. So give him some grace. And the same for men. Give your wife some grace to be able to grow because she's never been treated kindly. Okay? You're going into her, vegetable garden and digging everything up and throwing it to the dogs. She doesn't know even how to handle when you are appreciative of what she's doing, even though it might not be exactly what you wanted. Well, she can only grow what she's given. She is in the image of the earth. You are in the image of God, and God loves. Do you? The earth can only produce the seeds it's given. And also, it needs to be pruned, and that's in a loving way, not like, oh, wife of mine, you never listen. You never listen to anything I say anyway. You just prophesied for her never to listen. That's a seed. See, the men are the sower, women are the field. So when you say stuff like that, why are you surprised that she's not listening and she's not doing this? You just sowed a seed for her not to listen because you didn't sow in love. So this is kind of the revelation I've gotten by the roles and how it, if you both see each other as one unit, why are you not providing the best to one another so that each of you can be successful in your role? I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know. But this is what we are supposed to do. And if you aren't doing it and you have a hard time doing it, then you got to go to the Lord and you have to ask him to help you. And you have to ask him to help you become humble. And I tell you, men, if you're not humble and you're not kind, you're not going to get a humble, kind wife. It starts with you. It starts with you. And women, you have to let your men rule the house. You have to trust them and tell them, hey, you just sowed a really bad seed in me. I'm going to reject that. You just fell back on old habits and just told me something that was very hurtful. So I'm not going to yell back at you. I'm not going to produce the fruit of that evil that you just sowed in me. But I want you to know I'm rejecting it. And that's a different way of saying it than screaming back. Because everybody needs to learn how to walk in their role. And they need grace because we're all human. And by the way, you are a living example to your children. So when they grow up and they have rotten marriages and they marry someone just like you and you hate them, you're looking in a mirror. That's what they're used to. And the familiar spirit that is in you is now in them. So you got to pray for your kids. And don't say to your children, oh, I hope you have kids just like you. You just cursed your kids. You're supposed to bless your kids. That's the fruit of you and your husband. Why would you want to hurt it? You should protect it and help it, prune it, weed it in love. And I know we can know this stuff and not do it, but we need to pray to do it. I have struggles in my own life, and I'm getting this revelation, and I'm like, oh God, help me. Help me be that woman that you're teaching me about. Help me to trust, help me to love, help me to produce as you design me to. So it's hard. I know. It takes God. It takes submission to him. If you can't love, you have to ask to love. And I'll tell you what, if you say to God with real conviction and you really want it, you say, God, help me. I don't love this person anymore. Help me to love them. You're going to have to give me love for them because I don't have it anymore. You need to get honest with yourself and honest with God. I don't love them anymore. I need love. I need your love, and God will give it to you. I have had this happen to me in my 27 years of marriage. I've had to do that. And guess what? I'm telling you, my Lord gives me love like I hadn't had since I met my husband. So I know it works. Right in the middle of me wanting to divorce him. And I didn't. So it can happen. So take this, send this on to people. Because you know what? Probably everybody's having marital problems. And you can't probably tell them this. They're not going to sit down and listen. And everyone could benefit from it because we're all human. We're all screwing things up. And if this is a blessing to you and you think, maybe this would help, send it to everyone you know that's married. And maybe we can actually turn it around so marriage can actually be a blessing instead of the curse that, you know, the devil's trying to create with all marriages, even people who are Christian. So like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to know what you had to say and anything you've learned. What has God taught you about marriage that really helped you? And not ragging on your spouse. I don't want to hear those. Everybody's spouse is human. What did you learn? What have you learned in your walk that helped you, that God helped you with? Be blessed.